They spent over $100 million on a single night, and it was absolutely breathtaking. Supermodels earned up to 7 figures for minutes on the runway. Custom wings cost more than luxury cars. Pat McGrath's makeup alone required a 6-figure budget. From Brooklyn's Steiner Studios to millions of screens worldwide, witness the jaw-dropping extravagance of fashion's most luxurious spectacle. The luxury displays, where art meets extravagance. When the lights dimmed at Steiner Studios in Brooklyn on October 15, 2025, the world witnessed more than just a fashion show. What unfolded was a meticulously orchestrated symphony of luxury, where every element, from the gossamer wings that seemed to defy gravity to the crystal-encrusted footwear that caught every photon of light, represented the pinnacle of craftsmanship and extravagance. This wasn't merely a runway presentation, it was a masterclass in how to transform fabric, feathers, and fantasy into a multi-million-dollar spectacle that would captivate millions of viewers across the globe. The 2025 Victoria's Secret fashion show marked a triumphant continuation of the brand's revival, and nowhere was this more evident than in the breathtaking displays that adorned the runway. Under the visionary guidance of executive creative director Adam Selman, the show was structured around a narrative arc that began with the fresh, ethereal quality of morning light and crescendoed into the sophisticated elegance of a black tie affair. This wasn't just about selling lingerie, though over 4,000 shoppable pieces were made immediately available through Amazon and the brand's official website. No, this was about creating an immersive experience that transported viewers into Victoria's Secret's carefully curated world of glamour, sensuality, and empowerment. Let's begin with what has always been the crown jewel of any Victoria's Secret fashion show, the wings. These aren't mere accessories that models happen to wear as they strut down the catwalk. These are custom-crafted masterpieces, each valued at $10,000 or more, representing weeks of artisan labor and meticulous attention to detail. The 2025 show featured over 50 unique wing sets, each one designed specifically for the model who would wear it, taking into account not just their physical proportions but their personality, their energy, and the specific look they would be presenting. Consider, if you will, the seashell wings that opened the show on Jasmine. Turks, a pregnant model who carried herself with such grace and confidence that you could almost forget she was wearing an elaborate construction of shell-encrusted artistry on her back. These wings weren't just beautiful. They told a story of oceanic majesty, of treasures hidden beneath azure waves, of the mysterious allure of the deep. The craftsmanship involved in creating such pieces is staggering. Artisans spend 2 to 4 weeks constructing each pair, carefully selecting feathers, hand-placing Swarovski crystals, engineering lightweight frames that can support elaborate designs without causing the models discomfort during their walks. Then, there were Gigi Hadid's giant white wings, a study in angelic simplicity that paradoxically required extraordinary complexity to achieve. These oversized feathered creations seemed to float behind her as she moved, catching the light in a way that created an almost ethereal glow around her figure. The engineering required to make wings of this size both stable and lightweight is nothing short of remarkable. Historical Victoria's Secret wings have weighed upwards of 18 kilograms, but modern construction techniques using advanced materials have made it possible to create even larger, more dramatic pieces that models can wear comfortably. Bella Hadid's crystal-covered wings, paired with her fiery red billowing shawl, represented perhaps the most opulent wing design of the evening. Imagine thousands upon thousands of Swarovski crystals, each one individually placed to create a surface that didn't just reflect light, but seemed to multiply it, sending prismatic flashes across the runway with every step. The cost of materials alone for such a piece runs into the tens of thousands of dollars, and that's before we even consider the hundreds of hours of skilled labor required to bring such a vision to life. And we cannot overlook Ashley Graham's shiny black wings, a departure from the traditional angel aesthetic that brought an edgy, modern sensibility to the runway. These metallic masterpieces caught the light in an entirely different way, creating sharp, dramatic contrasts that perfectly complemented Graham's powerful presence and body-positive message. The fact that Victoria's Secret invested in such diverse wing designs speaks volumes about the brand's commitment to representing different aesthetics and celebrating different types of beauty. The total investment in wings alone for this production is estimated at $500,000 to $2.5 million, depending on the complexity of each design and the materials used. This is not an expense that generates direct revenue. These wings are not for sale. They are purely for display, for spectacle, for creating those unforgettable moments that will be shared millions of times across social media platforms. They are an investment in brand image, in cultural relevance, in maintaining Victoria's Secret's position as not just a lingerie company, but a creator of fantasy and aspiration. But the wings, as magnificent as they are, represent only one facet of the luxury displays that define this show. The outfits themselves deserve equal attention and admiration. We're talking about over 200 runway looks, each one carefully designed to fit into the show's thematic structure while also being immediately shoppable by viewers watching from home. This dual purpose, creating high fashion spectacle while also driving retail sales, requires a delicate balance that the creative team navigated with remarkable skill. The first light section featured sheer slip dresses in pastel yellows and pinks, crafted from satin silk blends that seemed to float on the models' bodies like morning mist. These aren't garments you throw together in a factory assembly line. Each piece requires precise cutting, careful construction, and often hand finishing to achieve the desired effect. Devon Garcia's yellow slip dress with wrap detail, which she handled with such grace when it briefly malfunctioned on the runway, retails for $68, but likely cost several $100s to produce when you factor in the quality of materials, the skilled labor, and the design process. The black tie section elevated the opulence even further. Glittering cat suits covered in crystal embellishments, netted outfits paired with billowing chiffon shawls, these pieces represent the intersection of fashion and art. Take, for example, the red glittering catsuit that Carol G wore during her performance, complete with wings. This single garment, which retails for $98, likely cost thousands to produce in its runway version, with its full body construction requiring a stretch mesh base that would hug the body perfectly, overlaid with rhinestones that had to be individually attached to create that all-over sparkle effect. The precision required to create a garment like this, one that looks spectacular under runway lights, moves beautifully on camera, and doesn't fall apart during an energetic performance, is extraordinary. Custom production costs for these elaborate runway pieces range from $500 to $5,000 each, with the total investment in outfits and lingerie estimated at $100,000 to $1 million. This might seem extravagant until you consider the return on investment. These aren't just clothes being shown on a runway, they're being broadcast to millions of viewers globally. They're being photographed and shared across every social media platform imaginable, and they're driving immediate sales through the integrated Amazon shopping experience. And then we have the footwear. Oh, the glorious footwear. The collaboration with René Cauvilla produced over 100 pairs of custom heels that were nothing short of wearable sculpture. We're talking about 105mm high crystal-embellished sandals, mules with sinuous serpent motifs that seem to coil up the ankle, thigh-high boots with stardust soles designed to provide both grip and glamour. These aren't shoes you pick up at your local department store. These are luxury items that retail for $495 and up, with production costs ranging from $1,000 to $5,000 per pair. The total investment in this René Cauvilla collaboration is estimated at $100,000 to $500,000, and like the wings, these pieces serve multiple purposes. They complete the looks, yes, but they also represent another revenue stream through the brand partnership. They generate additional media coverage, and they reinforce Victoria's Secret's positioning as a purveyor of complete luxury experiences rather than just lingerie. The expensive supermodels and their immaculate makeup. If the displays and garments represent the physical luxury of the Victoria's Secret fashion show, then the supermodels and their immaculate makeup represent the human element that brings it all to life. And make no mistake, securing the caliber of talent that walked this runway comes with a price tag that rivals the cost of the wings they wore. Let's talk numbers, because in the world of high fashion, talent commands serious compensation. While specific payment details remain undisclosed due to industry-standard non-disclosure agreements, estimates based on historical data and expert analyses suggest that supermodel fees for the 2025 show ranged from $10,000 to $1 million per appearance. These aren't just payments for a few minutes on the runway. These fees cover fittings, rehearsals, promotional obligations, and the invaluable contribution of the model's name, face, and reputation to the event's prestige. At the absolute top of the payment hierarchy sits Adriana Lima, the longest-serving angel in Victoria's Secret history, with over 18 shows to her name. Lima's estimated estimated payment for her return to the 2025 runway ranges from $500,000 to $1 million. This might seem astronomical until you consider what Lima brings to the show beyond just her walk. She represents legacy, nostalgia, a connection to the golden era of Victoria's Secret fashion shows that defined the 2000s and early 2010s. When Lima walks down that runway, she's not just a model wearing lingerie, she's a living embodiment of the brand's history and heritage. Gigi Hadid, who delivered multiple looks including those giant white wings, commanded an estimated $200,000 to $500,000 for her appearance. Hadid's value extends far beyond her modeling skills, though those are considerable. She brings with her a massive social media following, with tens of millions of devoted fans who will watch anything she does, share anything she posts, and very likely purchase anything she wears. In the modern era of fashion marketing, this kind of influence is worth its weight in gold, or in this case, worth several $100,000. Bella Hadid, Gigi's sister and a rising star in her own right, earned an estimated $150,000 to $400,000 for her appearance featuring that fiery red shawl and crystal-covered wings. While slightly lower than her sister's fee, likely due to having fewer Victoria's Secret appearances under her belt, Bella brings her own unique value to the runway. Her post-health recovery journey and advocacy work have made her a symbol of resilience, and her distinctive look and fierce runway presence make her unforgettable. Veterans like Alessandra Ambrosio, another icon with 17 shows in her history, commanded $300,000 to $600,000. Candice Swanepoel, with over a decade of shows, earned an estimated $200,000 to $400,000. These women aren't just models, they're brands unto themselves, with loyal fan bases who tune in specifically to see them walk. But perhaps one of the most significant casting decisions from a cultural and financial perspective was the inclusion of Ashley Graham, the body-positive icon who has been instrumental in pushing the fashion industry toward greater inclusivity. Graham's estimated fee of $100,000 to $250,000 reflects not just her modeling prowess, but the immense value she brings in terms of brand evolution and contemporary relevance. Her presence on the Victoria's Secret runway sends a powerful message about the brand's commitment to representing diverse body types and celebrating beauty in all its forms. And then we have the newcomers, the fresh faces who bring different kinds of value to the runway. Angel Reese, the WNBA star making her debut as the first professional athlete to earn Victoria's Secret wings, likely received $50,000 to $100,000. While this is considerably less than the veteran supermodels, the value exchange works differently for debut models. Reese gains invaluable exposure to a fashion audience, establishing herself as more than just an athlete, while Victoria's Secret gains credibility with younger, sports-focused demographics and generates significant media coverage about breaking boundaries. Similarly, Olympic gymnast Suni Lee, making her runway debut in the pink section, earned an estimated $50,000 to $100,000. These crossover castings represent a savvy investment by Victoria's Secret, generating headlines about inclusivity and diversity while appealing to audiences beyond traditional fashion consumers. The structure of these payments also reflects the reality of modern runway shows. Base fees cover 2 to 3 looks, travel, and promotional obligations, but veterans negotiate additional escalators for social media posts. When you have models like the Hadid sisters with a combined following of over 150 million people across platforms, their Instagram posts about the show reach more people than many television broadcasts. This kind of organic, authentic feeling promotion is invaluable in today's marketing landscape. Now let's talk about the makeup, because the faces that walked down that runway weren't just naturally beautiful. They were the canvas for one of the world's most renowned makeup artists. Pat McGrath, often referred to as Mother in the fashion industry, led the backstage glam team, and her contribution to the show's luxury aesthetic cannot be overstated. McGrath's approach for the 2025 show centered on creating what she calls a dewy, radiant base, a luminous, natural-looking complexion that would glow under the runway's intense lighting while still looking flawless in close-up shots for the global live stream. This isn't as simple as it sounds. Creating makeup that looks natural yet glamorous, that photographs beautifully while also appearing stunning in person, requires extraordinary skill and the finest products available. The technique began with meticulous skin preparation, using Pat McGrath Labs' Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Primer to create a hydrated, smooth canvas. This isn't just about applying primer, it's about understanding each model's skin type, their specific concerns, and how their skin will react under hot lights after hours of wear. The primer creates that crucial foundation that allows everything else to not just look good initially, but to continue looking good throughout the entire show. Then came the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation, applied with a focus on on achieving lightweight, buildable coverage that creates a radiant glow without looking cakey or mask-like. McGrath's team used damp beauty sponges and brushes to blend seamlessly, ensuring that the foundation enhanced the model's natural beauty rather than hiding it. This is particularly crucial when you're working with faces that will be seen by millions of people in high definition. Every flaw, every imperfection, every bit of poor blending would be magnified and scrutinized. The real magic came in McGrath's strategic highlighting technique. She applied highlighter to the high points of the face, the cheekbones, brow bone, bridge of the nose, and Cupid's bow to catch the light and create a sculpted dimensional effect. Using products like the Skin Fetish Highlighter Plus Balm Duo, McGrath's team created a reflective, multidimensional glow that made the models' faces look as if they were lit from within. For the eyes, McGrath utilized her famous Mothership palettes, creating looks that ranged from subtle shimmer to more dramatic definitions depending on the section of the show. The Permagel Ultra Glide eye pencil provided definition without harsh lines, while Fetish Eyes Mascara created lush, voluminous lashes that would register beautifully on camera. Lips were kept deliberately soft and harmonious with the overall aesthetic, using Matte Trance or Liquilust lipsticks in nude and pink tones that complemented Victoria's Secret signature color palette. This restraint in the lip color was strategic, with so much happening visually with the wings, the outfits, and the overall spectacle. The makeup needed to enhance the models without competing for attention. The investment in this level of makeup artistry is substantial. Estimated costs for Pat McGrath's team and products totaled $50,000 to $200,000, covering product value of approximately $20 to $100 per individual kit, plus labor costs for over 100 makeup artists working backstage. But again, this is an investment that pays dividends far beyond the immediate cost. Pat McGrath Labs gains exposure to millions of viewers, generating product sales and reinforcing the brand's position as the choice of the world's most elite fashion shows. Victoria's Secret gains the cachet of having Mother herself create the looks for their models, elevating the entire production. One of the most remarkable aspects of McGrath's work was her customization for each model's unique features and skin tones. When you have a show featuring such incredible diversity, from Iman Hammam to Alex Kansani, from seasoned supermodels to athlete newcomers, you cannot take a one-size-fits-all approach. Each face required individual attention, with techniques and product choices tailored to enhance that particular model's beauty while maintaining the cohesive overall aesthetic that McGrath envisioned. Behind the scenes, the venue, and the profit. While the audience at home sees only the polished final product, the models gliding down the runway in their magnificent wings and glittering outfits, the reality behind the scenes is a carefully choreographed operation of staggering complexity. The 2025 Victoria's Secret fashion show didn't just happen. It was built, rehearsed, perfected, and executed by hundreds of people working in concert to create something that would appear effortless. Let's start with the venue itself. Steiner Studios in Brooklyn, specifically Stage 15, provided the physical space for this spectacle. Now, Steiner Studios is primarily a film and television production facility, a massive industrial space designed for creating movies and TV shows. Transforming this utilitarian environment into the glamorous setting for a high-fashion runway show required substantial investment and creativity. The venue transformation included creating a pink-themed trail leading from backstage to the pink carpet and runway, immediately immersing everyone who entered in Victoria's Secret's signature aesthetic. The industrial space was softened with luxurious drapery, brand elements, and carefully designed lighting to create an atmosphere that felt both intimate and grand. Mannequins displayed elaborate wings and outfits during preparations, with dedicated areas for fittings and rehearsals strategically placed throughout the facility. The runway itself was a traditional, straight catwalk approximately 100 feet long, featuring a glossy pink surface that reflected the overhead lights for added visual impact. This reflective quality wasn't just aesthetically pleasing, it served a functional purpose, amplifying the lighting design and ensuring that every crystal, every sequin, every carefully placed highlight on a model's face would sparkle and shine with maximum effect. The runway design incorporated raised platforms at the end for performers like Carol G and Missy Elliott, allowing models to strut around them during performances and creating dynamic, interactive moments that made the show feel cohesive rather than just a series of walks interrupted by musical performances. The layout was divided thematically, guiding the audience through the narrative arc from natural, morning-fresh looks through vibrant pink collections to culminate in opulent black tie elegance. Confetti cannons were installed for the finale, ready to rain pink and silver silver pieces over the models during their final celebratory walk. These aren't simple party supplies. They're precisely engineered devices that need to deploy at exactly the right moment, with the right volume and trajectory of confetti, to create a visually spectacular effect without creating hazards for the models walking below in their very high heels. The estimated cost for venue rental and set design totaled $1 to $3 million, with approximately $500,000 allocated to securing Steiner Studios space, and an additional $500,000 to $2 million spent on custom builds, including specialized lighting, flooring installation, the pink runway surface, platforms, and all the drapery and branding elements needed to transform the industrial space into a fashion wonderland. The lighting and sound design represented another significant investment, with costs ranging from $500,000 to $1 million. This wasn't just about making the runway bright enough to see the models. This was about creating an entire atmosphere through light. The lighting was engineered to enhance Pat McGrath's dewy makeup and crystal-embellished outfits, with bright overhead spots and LED panels positioned to highlight every carefully placed shimmer. The lighting design also incorporated dynamic color shifts that occurred during performances: soft pinks for Madison Beer, vibrant reds for Karol G, energetic purples for Twice, ensuring that each segment of the show had its own visual identity while maintaining overall cohesion. This level of sophisticated lighting design requires not just expensive equipment, but also skilled operators who can execute complex lighting cues with split-second timing throughout the show. Sound production was equally sophisticated, featuring a high-fidelity system for live vocals and music, with microphones seamlessly integrated for performers on the runway. The audio setup captured crowd cheers and amplified them for the broadcast, creating an immersive experience for viewers at home. Backstage, extensive sound checks ensured seamless transitions between performances, allowing for smooth flows from one musical act to another, without awkward pauses or technical difficulties. Behind the scenes, the backstage area was its own complex operation. Models underwent extensive preparation sessions, with hairstylist Jawara Wauchope overseeing the creation of bombshell blowouts that evoked 2000s nostalgia with big, bouncy curls. Techniques included rollers for volume, diffusing for natural textures, braiding for waves, and wigs for versatility. The goal was creating hairstyles that looked glamorous both in person and on camera, that would move beautifully as models walked, and that would hold up under the heat of runway lights and the physical demands of multiple walks. The choreography, led by Head of Movement Charm LaDonna, emphasized empowered struts, twirls, and synchronized group formations. This wasn't about teaching professional models how to walk. They know how to walk. This was about creating a cohesive visual language for the show, ensuring that every model's movement contributed to the overall narrative, while still allowing space for individual personality and energy. Rehearsals focused on practical concerns like timing. Models needed to weave around performers without disrupting the musical performances or creating awkward spacing on the runway. They practiced handling the elaborate wings, which can be tricky to navigate, especially when executing turns or poses. They prepared for potential issues like Devin Garcia's wrap dress getting stuck, learning how to handle malfunctions gracefully without breaking stride or losing composure. The show's emphasis on diversity meant choreography had to work for bodies of all types, from athletic builds like Angel Reese to curvy figures like Ashley Graham, from pregnant models like Jasmine Tukes to models managing injuries like Barbara Palvin. This inclusive approach to choreography ensured that every model could walk with confidence and power, celebrating their unique beauty rather than trying to force everyone into the same mold. The entertainment integration represented another layer of complexity. The show featured an all-female performer lineup including Madison Beer, Twice, Karol G, and Missy Elliott, and these performances weren't just interludes between runway walks. They were woven directly into the show's fabric. Models circled around performers, creating interactive moments that made the entire production feel cohesive and immersive. Madison Beer opened in a pink corset performing Make You Mine, setting the tone for the evening. K-pop group Twice made history as the first K-pop act to perform at Victoria's Secret, delivering fan favorites in fuzzy boots that became an instant talking point. Karol G made a spectacular appearance in a glittering red catsuit, complete with wings, actually walking the runway during her performance, and Missy Elliott closed the show with a medley including Work It and Get Her Freak On, backed by dancers and thrilling the star-studded audience that included featured front-row celebrities. The broadcasting and streaming infrastructure represented a significant technological and financial investment. The show streamed live at 7 p.m. ET on Prime Video, Amazon Live, and Victoria's Secret's YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram channels. This multi-platform approach ensured maximum reach, allowing viewers to watch on their preferred platform while also facilitating the immediate shopping experience that was central to the show's commercial strategy. A pink carpet pre-show started at 6:30 p.m. ET, hosted by Zana Roberts-Rassi and Law Roach, building anticipation and giving viewers glimpses of arriving celebrities and models. The production included multi-camera setups for capturing everything from sweeping wide shots of the full runway to intimate close-ups of individual models' faces, ensuring that Pat McGrath's makeup artistry would be fully appreciated by the global audience. The Amazon integration enabled immediate shopping of looks as they appeared on the runway, transforming the show from a purely aspirational experience into a direct sales channel. This see now, buy now approach represents a significant evolution in how fashion shows function, turning what was once purely a brand-building exercise into an immediate revenue generator. And speaking of revenue, let's talk about the profits, because while the production costs for this show were substantial, the return on investment is where the real story becomes fascinating. The total production budget for the 2025 show is estimated at $10 to $15 million, a significant sum, but actually 20–30% less than the peak era shows of 2018 that cost upwards of $12 to $20 million. This reduction in production costs, while maintaining spectacular production values, was achieved through several strategic decisions. The elimination of the fantasy bra tradition saved $1 to $3 million immediately. Those diamond-encrusted pieces, while iconic, were extraordinarily expensive one-off creations that didn't generate direct sales. The partnership approach with brands like Renee Kauvila and Pat McGrath Labs offset costs through co-branding opportunities and shared promotional benefits. The Amazon streaming partnership eliminated the need for expensive network television deals while actually providing better reach and more flexible viewing options for the global audience. The emphasis on shoppable merchandise generating $5 to $10 million in immediate sales meant that the show started paying for itself from the moment it began, rather than functioning purely as a marketing expense with delayed returns. But the immediate sales during and immediately after the show represent only a fraction of the financial picture. Historically, the Victoria's Secret fashion show has driven $50 million or more in brand sales in the weeks and months following the event. The 2025 show, with its estimated 10 million plus viewers across all streaming platforms, amplifies this return on investment significantly. From the $500,000 to $2.5 million invested in custom wings, to the $100,000 to $1 million spent on supermodel fees, from the $1 to $3 million venue and set design costs, to the $500,000 to $1 million lighting and sound production, every dollar spent was an investment in creating a spectacle that would capture attention, drive sales, and reinforce Victoria's Secret's position as not just a lingerie brand, but a creator of aspirational fantasy and luxury experience. Thanks for watching. Check out other cards on the screen.